episode of Divine Journey 2. Thank you all for coming to the stream, episode 5. But if you couldn't make it, here's some things that we did. We progressed further into immersive engineering by creating our first source of power, the water wheel, as well as making our first workbench and using a chair wand to create a little immersive engineering chair. Other than that, we also began to look at a interesting mining method that I like to call wooden door water mining, which is super efficient for mining diamonds and zirconium. But my goals are today is to do some nether exploration, because it will contain valuable ores and valuable treasures that we can't pass up on. Already, the Nether has had a complete facelift in this mod pack, with the inclusion of the Better Nether mod. This adds a lot new flora and fauna to the mod pack, so be prepared to see lots of eggplants, nether agave, nether moss, and other different types of mods. Wasn't very liked by the locals, so I had to deal with them with high noon. But before I continued my nether quest, I had to harvest the raw power of both nether ores, cobalt and ardite, create the legendary manual. This is what I would use to later on make my cleaver to harvest withered skeleton skulls. And about 6 episodes in, I have made my first ingot of manual. This is a big milestone, especially for the series, which I didn't even think would go past 2 episodes. But here we are, episode 6. But there still is lots of work to be done. So, let's continue our work. So, what happened to the video? It was ready to record. We were ready to go back to the Nether to get more materials, such as lapis and other materials similar to that. Well, I'm sure future Mailrange can tell you all about it. So, I'm sure you all may have questions, and I'm going to try to answer them to my best of my ability. First of all, where did the manual go? Well, the manual, along with several other things, like the immersive engineering wheel, and more of our storage drawers, got lost a month ago. Let me explain. About a month ago, or 2 months ago, I decided to make episode 6 of the Divine Journey 2 series. While I was recording that episode, I didn't save my world correctly, and my world file got corrupted. I had a backup, but it was from November of last year, not even December. So here we are, 5 episodes in, and I've lost nearly everything. My progress in immersive engineering and roots has been brought back to 0, and I need to begin grinding even more. But instead of taking the negative thing the negative approach to this newfound conundrum. I'm going to take the threefold approach to this conundrum. I'm going to build back even better. I'm going to build plenty of blast furnaces. I'm going to build plenty of roots areas. I might even try finishing the totemic area, which is still a cow pen that doesn't functionally work. And whatever that is. You are correct, Fast Mail Range. This opportunity gives me a second chance in my Minecraft world. How can I improve on what the last base couldn't? Well, for starters, let's lay out 3 simple things that I want to improve on. First of all, I would very much appreciate if I could stop treating everything as garbage. See, in Divine Journey 2, nearly every material has a use. Silver, copper, even stuff like Constantan and Invar that I made on accident, but still has a use somewhere in the grand scheme of things. Like, for example, you can use Constantan to completely skip the Twilight Forest. Number 2, I never upgraded my gear. By the time I made it to the Obsidian era, where I got my first pieces of Obsidian armor, I decided that would be enough of gear upgrades, which I was very wrong about, because that ended up in me dying to the Wither more times than I would like to die to the Wither. And finally, whenever I logged into Minecraft, I never logged in with a plan. And I needed a plan. I never knew what I was going to do. I was going to accomplish some quests in the immersive engineering age, and then get sidetracked with the roots side quests, or vice versa. So, this little second opportunity gives me a chance to improve my world. So, let's get started. And my goal today is to get my first ingots of steel. I needed to get a lot of rotten flesh. So I upgraded Craven Crits with Lapis for luck and Diamond for reinforcement and sharpness. Considering I was beginning to make a starter base where I would have industrial capabilities so I could plan ahead, I began making some chests so I could get ready for moving out day. Now, you might be wondering, Mail Range, why are you getting so much nickel, Invar, and iron? I assure you, we will need lots of these materials for later on. I'm not even sure this amount will cut it in the future. Considering I said I want some better armor, and Invar is right now currently our most abundant material, I made myself a full set of Invar armor. Although not as durable as Obsidian, it will serve me well for the time before we get to Roots armors. Because today I also want to get into farming technology, I also made a map. For my materials, I use bronze, copper, and stone. Bronze because I get more durability as my durability goes down. Stone because it's the easiest for repairs. And copper because I get XP for blocks that I mine. potato farm to feed the cows and myself. And I also made an alternative farm with a bunch of AA and immersive engineering crops, such as hemp, which we will need for the next chapter. Now, for our little thingy, next we're going to process some ores. I created a chest that says, "Process me," with all the ores that we've gathered over the Let's Play so far, over the 5 episodes. And how many ores do we have?
Osmium,
Yellorium,
aluminum,
or aluminium,
copper.
We still
Ruby,
have
cinnabar,
arlemite,
for gold.
That's a lot. Let's get started. While I was processing some of my nickel and copper, I accidentally made Constantan. However, I don't think this is an accident, and I know Divine Journey 2. This will definitely be used in the future. The first ore we can cross off the list is nickel, as we processed all of it with Invar, Constantan, or the ore itself. We can also cross off some stuff such as copper and lead, because here you can see me making blocks of both of the materials. And isn't this a welcome change? I finally cleaned up some of the blemishes on my base, such as the infinite lava and infinite destabilized redstone source, which was me thinking that they work the same as water. We also processed a little bit of iron, and we also processed a bunch of Yellorium. Now, to finish off what we started, let's make our first ingots of steel. And don't worry, I've got everything planned to make our first ingots of steel on camera. Let's do this. I will be explaining every single step of this process. First of all, remember all the coagulated blood we got earlier? Well, now it has a use. Coagulated blood is used to make Baycock's bloodied stone. Along with obsidian and Baycock's bow, that is the main ingredient to our root stuff and immersive engineering stuff. The first machine I made was the blast furnace, because I actually had enough blast furnace bricks to just make 2 more recipes. It's important to note that this requires Invar instead of the other one being Osmium. You'll need about 14 recipes of this, so make sure you stack up on Baycock's bloody stone. I recommend making a sword and putting looting on it if you're making lapis. The next blocks you're going to want to make are coke bricks. These are similar to the blast furnace, in which you'll need bricks and Baycock's bloody stone, but it's important to note that you need osmium, which is why I began processing osmium in the ore processing section of the video. And I recommend processing as much osmium as you can, because come mechanism stage, you're probably going to need it. Now that's what I call building back better. In one episode, we were able to go from no immersive engineering technology at all to being on the cusp of making steel and having separate farms and a really good future ahead of us. Now, the way this machine works is that when you input coal, it will create coal coke and creosote oil, both of which are very useful. Now, you may be wondering, how do I set up a servo? Well, the servo, you're going to set it up from a fluid duct into a portable tank. You can upgrade it, and then you can set the servo to no redstone mode, and it will automatically pull out creosote. Now I'm going to hand it off to my past bear range to sign us off for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode.
But now I'm gonna give it to Recording Mail Range, who's currently recording this video right now. To the changes we made during this episode, we upgraded our industrial capabilities as well as our industry as a whole. We created a farm so that we are self-sufficient, and we began to repopulate the cows, as well as setting us up perfectly for the hemp beet, which, let's do a bit of a harvest. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry for the wait, but you guys can see that I barely have any kind of scrap level left over here. But this episode is finished. Thank you guys so much for watching.